This is Dr. Matt Barber of Alabama Orthopedic Clinic. We are proud supporters of Ransom Reprogram, Ransom Ministries, and all of the good work that they do in our community. If you would like to learn more about us, check us out at alortho.com or barbertotaljoint.com. You can also hear more from me personally on the Ortho Real podcast. Thank you again for allowing us to be involved with Ransom Ministries and all of the great work that they do.
Do you know someone who's struggling? Someone who continues to make the wrong decisions? Could that someone be you? Have you had a problem in the past of making decisions that afterwards you were just like, why did I do that? Have you ever wanted to get help and didn't really know how? Have you ever wanted to help someone in that situation and really not understood how to do it? Did you ever ask yourself, why do I keep making these decisions? Or why do they keep making those decisions? We're going to take some time to explore and see this world through eyes we've never looked through and shoes we've never walked in. These are the sons and daughters made in His image with the potential to positively impact our community. This is raw, this is real, and this is Ransom.
With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head.
This show is brought to you by Ransom Recycling, your number one choice for electronic recycling in Mobile, Alabama. Help reduce waste in our landfills by recycling all of your unwanted, unused, and non-working electronics. Ransom Recycling is a division of Ransom Ministries that is helping to put men and women back to work. Check out ransomministries.com for a complete list of acceptable items. Drop-offs and pickups can be easily scheduled through the website. Please note that we are not accepting TVs at this time. Ransom Recycling, open 8 to 3 Monday through Friday. Help our planet while helping men and women re-enter the workforce.
With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head.
Hey, welcome to the Ransom Experience, where we talk to past students, current students, volunteers, and those that have been associated with Ransom over the years. Today, I get to sit down and talk to a young man that I met about 2 months ago, 3 months. Well, it's been about 3 months ago now. And I was impressed by his work ethic from day one that I met him. And I really saw a lot of great potential, a lot of things that he could do. And it was an honor to meet him, because doing what we do for the last 10 years, you don't always meet people that have a really good work ethic. So today we're going to talk to Kaleb Fairchild, and it's an honor to have you here today, Kaleb.
It's an honor to be here, sir.
So you grew up all over the place. I know you grew up in Missouri, which I'm a Midwest guy, so I know a little bit about Missouri. And so you kind of moved around. Can you kind of tell us what your childhood was like, what your youth was?
No, my youth was in Stover, Missouri. It's by Lake of the Ozarks.
Mm-hmm.
And, went to school. Mom had a stepdad, didn't know my real dad. And they were always arguing a bunch. They got a divorce. Pretty much, we moved to a different house, went to a different school, and I just became a rebel without a cause. Mom couldn't handle me. I lived with my best friend and his mom. She raised me because my mom couldn't handle, raising a rambunctious boy. She had 2 girls. So girls were easy, but, the son, I was like the black sheep. So that led me to a life of crime, and eventually got in trouble at 17 and, went to jail.
So you were raised in a split home. I mean, did you go back and forth between family, or did you just still live with your mom?
Didn't live with my mom.
I mean, I'm sorry, you lived with your friend and his mom.
Friend and his mom.
Okay, so you lived with them, went through high school, got to be 17 years old, got around the wrong people, I assume?
The people I was living with.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the crime stuff. What drew you to that?
I was living with an older dude. He's an ex-Mennonite. Actually, me and the people I was living with picked him up on the side of the road. Well, he got his own place, and so I was living with him. He lost his job, so we needed a place. We needed food, and we needed money for the rent. So we broke in a place and stole food and money, and we didn't get caught. We went to Springfield, Missouri, and just blew it all. Just splurged, and I guess went back. I went to school. And him and his buddy went back to the same place after the cops put up a security camera, and they got busted, and they snitched me out.
So they threw you under the bus.
Threw me under the bus.
So
And
this is when
I
you were
was honest.
17?
Yeah.
So you were what, a junior in high
Sophomore.
school? Sophomore in high school? Couldn't remember the time. So sophomore in high school, your mom couldn't really handle you. It just kind of let you go live with this lady and your friend, and got in with the wrong crowd, which is a lot of people's story. They get in with the wrong. But also just why do you think you were drawn to that? Not that you just needed the food or whatever, but what was it about that lifestyle that kind of drew you to it?
The thrill, I guess, getting away with it, not about the money. It was just being able to get away with it, like they'll never know the perfect crime. Because it was a perfect crime. I mean, we broke in a Dutch country store with no security cameras and no alarms and got away with it. And then they went back after the cops put up a camera. So they got caught. But what we did, we thought was a perfect crime, which it was, if I wouldn't have done it with the right people.
Yeah.
If I would have done it with the right people.
So as you got older, did you graduate high school?
No, I got a GED in prison.
You got a GED. So you graduated you got old enough to be out of high school. So kind of where'd your life go from there?
Prison.
So you went straight for that thing? You went to prison for that.
Mm-hmm.
For how long did you go for that?
About off and on. I went in for a good 2 years. I got out. Probation. I messed up probation. And then I went back and they restarted my sentence, and I went back for another 3 years straight.
So how was it being on probation?
Being that young?
Yeah.
Same. I absconded.
A lot of times people say it's hard to not get violated, like not to do something that's going to violate you, like put you back in prison. Is that what happened to you? Is you did something that
I just didn't go.
You just never checked in, never reported?
Never reported.
Okay, so you were working at that time?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you went to prison. The last time was a 3-year stint. Is that what you said?
Yes.
So you were in there 3 years. Can you look back on a time in your life and pick one specific thing or a multiple things that caused your life to change directions, like in the wrong way? Back when your mom and dad divorced, or what would you say was that time?
I just lived like a child most of my life. I mean, the divorce definitely threw me off. That definitely did some damage to me. And I think still that affected me as an adult.
Yeah.
He was the only dad I knew, and as soon as I got divorced, he wouldn't even call me son, wouldn't take me hunting or fishing no more.
So it was kind of like a rebellious thing. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't care about me. I ain't going to give a crap about this either, which is a lot of that. So then you moved on. You went to prison. What happened when you got out of prison?
The first time?
Yeah. After the 3-year stint you were on.
Oh, the second time. I got right. I finally got it right. My family moved to Alabama to Enterprise. I lived with my brother-in-law and my sister. I got a good job at Burger King. I worked there over a year, got my own apartment. It was doing really good. And then I was introduced to a terrible drug called methamphetamines. And I just didn't pay my rent anymore and didn't really care. Eventually got evicted. And another life of crime down the road. And, I got off parole at this point. I'm off parole at this point. I finished parole. And, yeah, as soon as I got parole, I just got into drugs. I've never done that drug before. For real. I mean, I tried it, but I never actually got into it until after I got parole.
So you got off parole, you got into meth. Where did that lead you?
Not jail. Just crime, homelessness. My family, who I just, reconnected bonds with, and they thought I was doing good. I broke all their trust, burned all those bridges. I couldn't see my nephew. That was it. I was done. I couldn't see my family. They were ashamed of me. I called my mom and said I need help. and they took me to Lucedale, Mississippi.
To the City of Refuge.
City of Refuge.
How'd that go?
Well, I'm just getting off of drugs, and they say I'm not allowed to have contact with my family for the first 2 weeks, and I'm not allowed to smoke cigarettes, and it's a bunch of guys together in one place. It didn't really go so well.
It was tough, wasn't it? Tough.
Very tough.
So you went there. You didn't stay the whole time, right?
No.
So you left there, and then where'd you go?
I walked to Mobile. I heard about this place, the Mobile Rescue Mission. I actually went there for a little bit in 2017 for like 2 weeks before my mom came and got me. But I forgot all about it until someone reminded me. And I walked there from Lucedale, Mississippi. And the long walk was like 2-3 days. And they took me in, thank God. I got in a work program, which was work around the building. And you help out around the building for 45 days. And they never said I can get a job. So I met a woman online, and I moved in with her. And, thought it was all good and everything. Well, she was very violent, and she liked to hit me a lot. And so I left her house. I went back to the mission. They let me in again to the work program. I wasn't myself, man. I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I gave up. But she promised me things would change and it wasn't going to be that way again. And I believed her, and I moved in with her again. But I wanted to work. I wanted an actual job.
Yeah.
Because the mission wouldn't let me have a real job. I had to work around the mission. And every time I've been with her, I had a job. So I was working. And she was cheating on me, and I knew she was cheating on me. She'd always be home late, 2 hours after her shift with the same excuse. Oh, some new guy, really slow. Yeah, right. Then who's this guy you're texting all the time? And so I guess she went to the cops and filed a protection order. I didn't know about it. And then the cops showed up, and they took me to jail for violation of protection order I had no idea of. And this was December 17th last year. And yeah, I was in jail. I got out. Mom and stepdad came off over the road. They brought me to the Mobile Rescue Mission again. And thank God they told me, Chaplain Rick, the director, said he'll let me in the program, and if I get this job with Ransom. He's like, I want to work, because he knew I wanted to work. That's why I left.
Yeah.
So he's like, I got some work for you.
So that's how we got together. So we're up to where you and I met. So you were there. That was your third time at the mission. Had a lot of things happen along the way. So now you're coming to Ransom. So you come here through our, Waterfront is our partner. So we've done, had many guys come through here that have been through there. And you come here, do your interview. You and I meet. What was your thoughts of the program when you first got here?
I didn't know what to expect a whole lot. He told me, his interview, I was just praying to God that I get this job. Not only to work, not get in the program, that way I can be in the Waterfront, because only way I was allowed in there again was if I got this job. And so I did everything I could, as truthful as I could be. I busted my butt because I finally realized what God was trying to do for me the whole time. They let me back in the mission. This was a plan, is to be here. He kept trying to get me away from that woman, every time he brought me back, but I just kept going up. But this was the plan all along, just to get me here.
Yeah, and so you've been here. This is actually today, as we tape this, you graduated from Ransom Reprogram, but you've been working a job with Top Notch Tree Care, and they kind of was a working interview, right? You went out there. It was funny because it was on the day of our mock interviews, and you go out there and you do your working interview, and they invite you back another day. And then you go back another day, and they invite you back another day. And now you're on there full time, right? You're part of their crew. You're on their payroll. And great things are happening, and it's because of your work ethic that I saw from day one. I saw that in you the day that you worked here. The very first day, I could tell you were a worker. We worked through some of the other things. You're still kind of working through some of your insecurities maybe or things like that. But I think for the most part, you're working hard, you're doing it, you're being humble, you're coachable. And I think that you'll move far with that company because it is a great opportunity to work for them over there. Our main thing is we just try to be family, man. We just try to get to know each other. Through the Ransom Reprogram classes, we talk about biblical stories, we talk about biblical characters and what they mean to us now. Like how relevant is Joseph to us now, or how relevant is David to now? So tell me a little bit, how has the curriculum affected you? How are some of those classes that we had? We talk about the work part. You had that down, but how has the classes helped you?
Classes helped me realize that human beings have not changed one bit since biblical days till now. And Joseph and Ruth are some of the most inspiring biblical characters, in my opinion, to me. Just because of everything they went through, and they still held on to the faith. They still stayed strong, no matter all the stuff. And that's a character trait I hope, I pray I could have whenever trouble comes. To keep my eyes forward and not just, spite, but have hope and prayer, and it's very inspiring. The Bible says the sluggard will not plow for reason of the cold, therefore when it's time to harvest he shall beg and have nothing. And to me that means that a man who don't work is a man who don't eat, and then he wants to complain how he has no food. Well, he didn't work to get it. God, like you said, is a God of work. First commandment he gave humans was to work. And I don't work for top-notch tree service. I work for God. If I had to be honest, as everything I do, I work for God. I'd be scrubbing a toilet and I still got a smile on my face.
And that is the key. That is what we learned through Ransom Reprogram, is that we're here to glorify God through the work that we do, and it's just a icing on the cake that we get paid to do it. So I think that's great, and I know that Top Notch is glad to have you as an advocate for them, but also just to someone that's bringing glory to God, because that's what they look for. They look for that in their work. And so that inspires me, and understand that, hey, what we're doing here at Ransom is actually worth it. And it's getting us to the point where we can be all that God wants us to be. So as we leave, and you had someone out there that maybe struggling with girl problems, struggling with maybe their family went through divorce, they're rebellious, they're going through kind of the same thing you did, hooking up with the wrong people. What is a word of advice you would give them? Now that you're sitting back here now, looking at it from another point of view, what is something you would tell them?
Get your stuff straight first. For any relationship, make sure you got everything, you got all your stuff straight. And if you are working, if they give you, I'll say this over and over again, whatever they tell you to do, you master it at one task. And then they'll move you on to the next task, you master it. And that's how you proceed in a job, I've learned. You master the task at hand, and then the next one, you master it. And they'll keep giving you more and more. But don't think you're ready to move on if you're not. If you're not ready, let them know, I need a little more time.
That's good, man. Well, Kaleb, it's been an honor to get to know you. Can't wait to see how far you go. We'll still be in touch, still keep in contact, because, I'm friends with Billy, who owns Top Notch, and I think that you're going to do great things for him. And just stay in touch, man. I appreciate you coming on. Man, I hope you enjoyed my talk with Kaleb, and it encouraged you to keep moving on and do the things that, you're called to do. And ultimately, we don't work for other people. We work for God. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcast or anywhere that you get your podcast. You can also find it on our website, ransomministries.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, We also have a Snapchat for you young ones out there. And we just want you to just remember these guys that we bring across, and these ladies and these people. Just keep praying for them that they'll stay focused on what they got to do. We appreciate it, and God bless. We'll see you next week.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. With